A cryptic vicious spell, sadistic in its hell, simplistic mission, can't you tell? Take all the negativity in life, get in position to stride it with all your might, just wind up sending back to hell. Yeah.
What is going on, major Pokemon League fans? My name's TheDarkGengar, head coach of the Ecruteak Gengars, and I'm here gladly presenting to you guys week 12 of the MPL, or the Major Pokemon League. This week we are taking on the Anaheim Altarias, or Anaheim, however you pronounce it. They are currently, if I'm not mistaken, 6-5, with head coach being Mystic Umbreon, my good friend. And we're sitting at, what now, 2-9 or something? Trash? At least we're not at least we're not 0-11. Thank you, Ash, and thank you, Slacks. But, nonetheless, here we are today, taking on my good friend Mystic Umbreon, and for our team preview today, we have Dracorachi, also packing Thunder Wave. You are packing Psyshock, and you're packing Draco, Psyshock, Stealth Rocks, and Thunder Wave. Then we have Juan Mower, the Rotom C, with Reflect, Light Screen, Volt Switch, and Shadow Ball. Then we have our Electivire Ultramech with Choice Scarf, with Earthquake, Wild Charge, Psychic, and a Rock Slide. Then we have Goodra with a Focus Sash, with Draco Meteor, Earthquake, Thunder, and Counter. Yes. Then we have Mega Gardevoir with Hyper Voice, Taunt, Hidden Power Ground, and blank because I never used it. I think it was like Taunt, Hyper Voice, Hidden Power Ground, and I don't remember. Actually, I really don't remember what I brought on my Gardevoir. And last but not least, we have Juliet the Sableye with knockoff Shadow Sneak, Taunt, and Will-O-Wisp. And on Mystic's team, he's brought himself Latios, Zoroark, Charizard X, Dusclops, Empoleon, and Raikou. So without further ado, I'm not going to stall you guys for another, holy shit, 2 minutes already. Enough said, just let's get into the match, because we had this match on the day before this is uploaded, and we were both really looking forward to this. So I'll lead with my Jirachi. It's already proven that it is Draco just because of the Japanese name. And he leads with his Raikou, and I see it has pressure, so it is the Raikou, and it's no Zoroark bullshit. Which made me think if I was going to go for T-Wave or not, but then I realized he has pressure, so screw it. And Jirachi eats that up no problem, and goes for the rocks to just get that momentum and that pressure on from the beginning. That's what we want. We want to have we want to pressure our opponents that they can't switch in. Like Charizard don't want to come in on rocks, just no. So he's going to switch out. I think at this point he switched into his Latios, so he could go for Defog, because his Latios was his Defogger. And at this point I was thinking, okay, so let's just retreat. Let's just retreat because the Shadow Ball hurt. And let's send in something that can take it a little bit better, like Juan Mower or Rotom C or Rotom-O, however you pronounce it. And at this point I'm up against the Latios, so this is the perfect time for me to at least get one screen up. And I chose the light screen just because mainly his team was a mix between both, but the special attackers were the ones who hurt a little bit more. Even though Psyshock naturally hits on the physical side, look how much Rotom eats this up. And I just drop a Shadow Ball on him, and it's gonna do about 40-ish%. And, well, that 50-ish%. And drop his special attack, so he is going to withdraw back into the Raikou, I'm pretty sure. No, he goes into the Charizard, that's what happened. As I just go for another Shadow Ball, it's no harm's done if my Rotom C dies or anything anyways. And that Charizard took it pretty well, that's 25%-ish. For my Rotom C Shadow Ball, it's not stabs, I do note that. But he's gonna Mega Evolve into his Megazord X, which is nice and all. And he's just gonna drop straight that Flare Blitz on it, and I'm just like, Rotom, there's no circumstance where you take that. There is no, under any condition that you are able to take that, unless you're like, unless it's like -6 attack. That's the only way for you to take it. So I sent in Juliet. I felt like this was the right time to send in Juliet, as he withdraws his Charizard and sends in his Raikou again. And at this point, I go for the knockoff because I wanted to dish out some damage. And I knock off this Raikou's Choice Scarf, which is crucial. Well, it's a big factor. Seskinzina did at least like a 35-40-ish%, all calculated by visual looking, and he has hidden power ground. So this is a nice prediction, but I would have, if it was in my shoes, I would have still dropped a Shadow Ball. I don't know what was coming in. Nothing on my team really wanted to catch a Shadow Ball. But I get it also. He's going to Volt Switch out here as I try to get my rocks back up on the field. And at this point, I think he switched into... What is it? He sent in his Leela the Dusclops. Leela the Dusclops is back in here on the field with his pressure. Everything that I set up rocks against had pressure, I swear to God. So I get my rocks back up on the field as I now retreat after leftovers, of course, after leftovers naturally. I retreat back into my Sableye as I feel most comfortable with Sableye against this Dusclops, because I can go for knockoff and get his item off. As he goes for Shadow Punch, I was expecting him to have Nightshade, so this is a bit interesting. Seeing a physical-ish Dusclops. But at this point, like I said, well, my light screen wears off, but I go for the knockoff here, and here's a little mess up that Mystic did. He went for, just wait for it, counter. And as you all know, that doesn't work on a ghost type, which is a bit unfortunate. It's a bit unfortunate, but you forget. You sometimes forget, and that's okay. So he switches out his Charizard again as I go for another knockoff, but this is actually not his Charizard, this is his Zoroark, because you can see this Charizard clearly had more health than the other one, since the other one had around 50%-ish. Yeah, like 48% I think is what the other Charizard's sitting at. And I get my leftovers recovery, and at this point I go for a Will-O-Wisp, expecting it to be like Sucker Punch, knockoff, U-turn, etc. As he goes for the knockoff, confirming that he is, at least at the moment, confirming that he is physical, as he knocks off my leftovers and he gets the burn damage off. At this point, I think I just went for a Shadow Sneak just for chip damage, as I realized, well, Sableye has already done its main work. Since I was expecting, instead of Zoroark to be out, I was expecting Mienshao instead of this, and this now confirms he's a mix set with Flamethrower, where it's like, oh, okay, Juliet, you can come back, I may need you for later, fodder or anything. At this point, I can send in Ultramech the Electivire, because Ultramech can take down anything right now. He can catch a Flamethrower, no problem. I calculated and everything, shouldn't do more than, it should not even do 50. And he's gonna drop a little bit. I was thinking here, maybe fool the Sucker, but he goes for the Sucker Punch here. And unfortunately enough for me, he gets the crit, which sucks a bit for us. But I go for the Earthquake nonetheless, and that is gonna make this Zoroark drop. So Ultramech picks up a kill, and at this moment it's a 5-5. He sends in Empoleon. At this point I was confused. I was like, I'm an Electivire. Why do you send in your Empoleon on an Electivire? And then he goes for Aqua Jet. I was like, okay. We have to re-evaluate our battle strategy. Send in Sableye, go for a knockoff. I'm pretty sure that's what I did at this moment. It was just like, send in Sableye, and go for knockoff. Just get whatever he's holding, get it off of him. We don't want him to mess around with us. No, wait, we burnt. Oh, yeah, that's what. So we try to burn. So we go for Shadow Sneak again, trying to get some chip damage off on this Raikou, which does, well, nothing. And Raikou goes for the Volt Switch, taking out our Juliet. Unfortunately, our Sableye went down, but he's gonna get, now he's gonna have to switch first so I can gain the momentum. As he switches into Latios, which is gonna do, well, Rock Stamp, he's gonna try to get the defog off. As I switch into my Gardevoir to get all of the momentum in the world now, I can Mega Evolve on his whatever he wants to do. I can just drop a Hyper Voice and make him go, just make him go gone. As he is in fact going to defog, as he's no fan of these rocks on the field because it's preventing his Charizard. That's mainly what he's keeping it off, and that's why I have rocks as well, to pressure the Charizard. And, well, Jirachi is the only entry hazard setuper I have, so keeping pressure on his team with rocks is very important. As he sends in the Raikou right now, and I was expecting here maybe a Shadow Ball. Are you gonna Shadow Ball me? that wouldn't do the most damage, I would assume, but no, he goes for Volt Switch. He wants all the momentum. He went to Scout if I had, like, I don't know, maybe Hidden Power Ground, which I do in fact have, but Hyper Voice does so much more damage. As he sends in Leela the Dusclops again, and I just go for a Hyper Voice, and that's gonna make Leela drop, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yes, that does in fact make a Leela drop. Oh, well, hold up. Let's see. So he sends back in his Raikou. I'm just gonna mess with Showdown and on the other monitor. As he now ups to go for the Shadow Ball, doing a clean at least 40% to my Gardevoir. I go for Hyper Voice, and that takes Raikou down as well, so freaking Gardevoir is being MVP right now, taking 3 kills this week, which is beautiful, as he sends in his Empoleon, and at this point, he can go for the Aqua Jet or do whatever. It's not going to be enough to take me down, as I go for my Hidden Power Ground. I did calculate, and I saw that Aqua Jet could not kill, and I can get off a clean 50% and now withdraw my Gardevoir and keep it alive. So I send in my Jirachi, trying to get my rocks back up just so I can pressure. And this Aqua Jet is not gonna do a damn thing. Look at Jirachi eating it up from like 90 to well, technically back up to 80, but you know, it did maybe 30-ish damage. I don't know, somewhere up there. And Empoleon goes for Earthquake. I'm like, oh shit. So I live with 12, and I get my Lefty's Recovery, which takes me up to like 24. Now I'm like, oh god, well, here comes the Aqua Jet. I don't really need Rachi for anything. And I live on 2. I swear that is a low roll. But I was like, oh my god, thank you so much, Jirachi, thank you. Get the T-Way off just so I can shut him down a little bit and potentially get off a Psy Shock for some minimal damage. Just getting some chip damage off of him, and he decides to go for, I think he went for his Scald, as I just get off some minor chip damage off on his Empoleon. So he goes for the Scald, taking out my Jirachi. I was like, Jirachi, you did your job, and you did it beautifully. And at this point, it's a 2-2. I have Goodra and Mega Gardevoir. He has Empoleon and Charizard. So I send out Amethyst, my beautiful, beautiful Goodra, going for the Earthquake, making this Empoleon drop. Look at Goodra. Oh my god, I love Goodra so much. And there goes the Empoleon. Now though, there comes my favorite part of this battle. Is the final turn, as Charizard loses 25% on income, he goes for the Iron Tail. I'm like, okay, that's okay. No worries there, we can take it. And there you go. Counter Goodra only for the Charizard. And that's why we have the Focus Sash. And with that, we beat the Anaheim Altarias in a close 2-0 victory. Thank you so much for the battle, Mystic. I had a blast doing this, and it's definitely my it's definitely my favorite match of the season, just because it was me and you against each other. So I want to thank all you MPL fans out there and the supporters of the Ecruteak Gengar for showing up and leaving. If you haven't already, smash that like button. If you have, you really know what's up. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this MPL Week 12 match, smash that like button and comment down below. I don't know. We're waking up right now. I think if I'm not mistaken, on the tables we are we're in 13th or 14th. But we have moved out of the last place on the table. We're finally out. So I want to thank you all so much for supporting the Ecruteak Gengars, and I'm not going to hold you up anymore. Check out all the other teams, and with that, I'm out of here. Peace!